शुक्लां भरतरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्वजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. लोकवीर्यं महापूज्यं सर्वरक्षाकरं विभुं पार्वती हृदयानन्दं शास्तारं प्रणमाम्यहं। स्वामिये शरणमय्यप्पा। वागर्ताविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्तप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। श्रीपार्वती परमेश्वराभ्यां नमः। कोमलं पूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम्। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी द्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयं। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशी विभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടും ഇറക്കുന്നു നിറജലോചനാനിന്നോടായി. ഏതേനോ മഞ്ഞാനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ട തോറും രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കെന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ Krishna Hare Jaya Krishna Hare. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so we just do a review of 61. Lakshmi Kamalaji, can you just do 61?
Lakshmi Edavali or Lakshmi Kammala?
Lakshmi Kamala. You're on mute, Lakshmi ji.
Just give me 1 minute. श्रीकृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः। ततश्च वृन्दावनतोऽतिदूरतो वनं गतस्त्वं खलु गोपगोकुलैः रुदन्तरे भक्ततरद्विजाङ्गना कदम्बकानुग्रहणाग्रहं वहन् ततो निरीक्ष्या शरणे वनान्तरे किशोरलोकं क्षुदितं तृषाकुलम् अदूरतो यज्ञपरान् द्विजान् प्रति व्यसर्जयो दीदिव्याचनायतास् गतेष्वतो तेष्वभिधायते भिदां कुमारकेष्वोदनयाचिषु प्रभो श्रुतिस्थिराप्यभिनिन्युर्यश्रुतिं न किञ्चिदूचुश्च महीसुरोत्तमाः अनादरात् खिन्नधियो हि बालकाः समाययुर्युक्तमिदं हि यज्वसु चिरादभक्ताः खलु ते महीसुराः कथं हि भक्तं त्वयि तैः समर्प्यते निवेदयध्वं गृहिणी जनाय मां दिशेयुरन्नं करुणाकुला इमाः इति स्मितार्थं भवतेरिता गताः ते दारकादारजनं ययाचिरे गृहीतनाम्नि त्वयि सम्भ्रमाकुलाः चतुर्विधं भोज्यरसं प्रगृह्यताः चिरं धृतत्वत्प्रविलोकनाग्रहाः स्वकैर्निरुद्ध अपि तूर्णमाययुः विलोलपिञ्चं चिकुरे कपोलयोः समुल्लसत्कुण्डलमार्द्रमीक्षिते निधाय बाहुं सुहृदं ससीमनि स्थितं भवन्तं समलोकयन्तताः तदा च काचित् त्वदुपागमोद्यता गृहीतहस्ता दयितेन यज्वनां तदैव संचिन्त्य भवन्तमञ्जसा विवेश कैवल्यमहो कृतिन्यसौ आदाय भोज्यान्यनुगृह्यताः पुनः त्वदङ्गसङ्गस्पृहयो जशुत्तिर्गृहम् विलोक्य यज्ञाय विसर्जयन्निमाः चकर्त भर्तॄन् पिता स्वगर्हणान् निरूप्य दोषं निजमङ्गना जने विलोक्य भक्तिं च पुनर्विचारभिः प्रबुद्धत्वैस्यमभिष्टुतो द्विजैः मरुत्पुराधीश निरुन्धि मे गदान्.
Actually, the second line and third line, second line, last word, punar vicharibihi.
Punarvicharibihi, yeah.
Yeah, and then the third line, prabuddha tatvais twamabhishtuto gunaihi.
And tatvais, okay. Prabuddha tatvais swamabhishtuto dvijaihi.
Yeah. Shikshaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Okay, so we'll continue at 62. I think we had finished up to stanza 3. So we'll start from stanza 4. Go ahead. Lakshmi Edvaliji, you can be a student, and Venkat Garu, you can be a student. Okay, stanza 4. Idham thavat satyam yadiha pashavo nah kuladhanam तथा जीव्यायासौ बलिरचलभद्रे समुचितः सुरेभ्योऽप्युत्कृष्टाः ननु धरणिदेवाः क्षितितले ततस्तेऽप्याराध्याः इति जगदिदत्वं निजजनान्. So we saw in the last class about how Nanda Gopal and everybody were kind of preparing a yajna, annual event for Lord Indra, and then Krishna goes and asks, saying, why are you offering all this for Indra? He wants to understand, for which they say that, like for us, rain is extremely important, and Indra is the one who's the controller of the rains, and so we offer the sacrifice to him every year. So at the time Krishna then, in stanza 3, Krishna says that is true, that Indra controls the rain, but then it is his duty to do it. Like he cannot, you don't have to offer him anything extra for him to actually do it. That is part of his responsibility. And that whatever people get is because of the collective karmas of people that rain is going to happen. Indra is just like a messenger or a disperser. You don't have to pay him anything extra for him to do his job, right? That's what Krishna says. And he questions saying, Maharanye Vrikshaha, all the forests and trees which survive on water, what sacrifice do they offer to Indra? They don't offer anything, right? Naturally, the rain has to come for them. So that's kind of where we ended in and stopped at 3. So here then in 4, he says, one thing what you said is true. He says, we all, the Gopas, they all survive on cows. So for the cows to survive, they need water, of course, and they need lush greenery, which means they don't need the mountains, they don't need all the plants and everything that is actually there, for which rain is required. So Krishna is not saying rain is not important here. He's saying all of that is true. But he says the most important thing is we survive here in Vrindavan, especially. He says we survive on that Govardhana mountain, because the Govardhana mountain is giving all that lush green and everything for the animals to graze, number one, right? And then he says, and it also gives them water. Number 2, he says the people who need to be worshipped, he says, are the Brahmanas. And I always clarify this in the Bhagavatam class also. In the olden days, when the word Brahmana was used, it doesn't mean somebody who just wore a punal for Vattam and then just, that's not the meaning of the Brahmana. The Brahmana is someone who has a good control over their senses, not attached to material things, and constantly devoted to Bhagwan. That is a true Brahmana, right? Not like us today who play all the roles, right? Or anyway, so that's what he says. Those saints, those Brahmanas are the one who need to be worshipped, because they do things for the good of the community. So he says, so really the people who need to be worshipped are the Brahmanas and then the Govardhana mountain. So he says, let's all the food that you guys are making right now, let all these food be cooked, that the event that you're doing, except he says you go invite these Brahmanas, make sure the Brahmanas are well fed. Then he says you offer all of this to the Govardhana mountain, make sure the Govardhana mountain is also happy with all your offerings. And then he says, do all these charities. So Krishna gives a list of things. He says, do all this, feed all the people who don't have food. He literally tells that. He says, feed even the dog eaters, the Chandala. He says, feed everybody that you can, right? Do the Annadanam, and then you go and consume your food, right? So you kind of use a sequence of things. He says, instead of doing all this, don't waste your time going and worshipping Indra here. Idam tavat satyam, comma, yadiha pashavo naha, put the ich, nah kuladhanam, comma, tada jivya yasau bhalirachala bhartre samuchitaha. Second line has no comma. Surebhyopyutkrishtah. That's one word, but you have to add a visarga because you're putting a comma there. Surebhyopyutkrishtah, comma. Nanu dharani devaha. That visarga you have to say because ksha is coming later. So devaha kshititale, comma. Next word, tatastepyaradhyaha. Same thing. The whole word together, visarga and comma. Tatastepyaradhyaha. Iti jagadita tvam nijajanan. Idham tavat satyam yadiha pashavo nah kuladhanam tada jivyayasau valirachala bhartre samuchitaha surebhyopyutkrishtah nanu dharani devaha kshititale tataste pyaradhyaha iti jagadita tvam nijajanan.
Idam tavat satyam yadiha pashavo nah kuladhanam tada jivya yasau balirachalabhatre samuchitaha surebhyopyutkrishtah nanu dharani devaha kshititale tataste pyaradhyaha iti jagati tattvam nijajanan. Idam tavat satyam yadiha pashavo nah kuladhanam tata jivya yasau balirachalabhatre samuchitaha surebhyopyutkrishtah nanu dharani devaha kshititale tataste pyaradhyaha iti jagati tattvam nijajanan.
इदं तावत् सत्यं यदिह पशवो नः कुलधनं तदा जीव्यायासौ सौ बलिरचलभत्रैः समुचितः सुरेभ्योऽप्युत्कृष्टाः ननु धरणिदेवाः क्षितितले ततेस्तेभ्यप्युरा ततेस्ते
ततस्तेऽप्याराध्याः
ततस्तेऽप्याराध्याः इति जगदि तत्त्वं निजजनान् इदं तावत् सत्यं यदिह पशवो नः कुलधनं तदा जीव्यायासौ बलिरचलभत्रैः समुचितः सुरेभ्योऽप्युत्कृष्टा ननु धरणिदेवाः क्षितितले ततस्तेऽप्याराध्य इति जगदि दत्त्वं निजजनान्.
The third and fourth line, this is Visarga after Pyutkrishtaaha and Tatastepyaradhyaha. Okay, and then a comma. Okay.
Okay.
Stands up, right? Bhavat vacham shrutva bahumati-yutastepi pashupaha dvijendranarchanto balimadaduruchaihi kshitibrite vyaduh pradakshinyam subrishamanam annadharayutaha त्वमादशैलात्मा बलिमखिलमाभीरपुरतः. So for all the Nanda Gopal and everybody else, when Krishna said this, the logic seemed right. They said, okay, no, that logically makes right. They could not argue back saying it made sense. So they say, okay, that's what we're going to do. So what they do is, this is what is constantly referred to as Annakut in North India, right? They call it as Annakut. Some people call it Chappan Bhog because Chappan is 56. So 56 items were actually prepared at that particular time to offer. And what they do is they call all this brahmanas, like I said, all the priests, and then they offer all of this food to them, and then they offer all this food to they do Naivedhyam to Govardhana mountain. Then all of that is done, right? Up to the cows and calves, because that is essentially all of the things that they worship. So this, when this is done, now the problem is these people of Vrindavan they're not educated also, right? They're very ordinary cowherds. So Krishna's worry was that, if you keep all this, now how will they know that Govardhana has consumed? Or, Govardhana is a mountain cannot eat it, right? So the Krishna felt like these people will believe that, okay, whatever is happening is not true. So he says, you all do a Girivalam, you all go and circumambulate around the Govardhana mountain. So when they all go do it, so Krishna himself, that's why I was telling Govardhana mountain is very special, like Tiruvannamalai. But Krishna itself, the mountain itself is Krishna. So Krishna assumes the form of the mountain, and then he ends up consuming this food so that people can believe that the mountain actually consumed it. Otherwise, they will not believe in this. So he then consumes the food. So you yourself, Twamada Shailatma, you yourself become the mountain and consume that food so the Gopas believe in you. Bhavat Vacham Shrutva, Bahu Mati Yutastepi Pashupaha, Dvijendran Archanto, Balim, I'm just breaking at that ma, so it's easy. Balim Ada Duruchaihi. Again, that Visarga has to be said because of Ksha. Balim Ada Duruchaihi Kshitibrite. Byaduhu, put a F to join. Byaduh Pradakshinyam, So the next word, I'm going to break it into 3 parts if you want to. Subhrisham Anamannadharayuta. Actually, 2 words. Subhrisham Anamannadharayutaha. Add a Visarga there, Subrisham Anamannadharayutaha, Next line, if you have is, that goes away. Twamadash Shailatma, Balim Akhilam Abhira Purataha. You want to break at that ma. Bhavat Vacham Shrutva Bahumati Yutastepi Pashupaha Dvijendranarchanto Balimadaduruchaihi Kshitibrite Vyaduh Pradakshinyam Subrishamanamannadharayutaha Twamhadashailatma Balimakhilama Purataha.
भवद्वाचं श्रुत्वा बहुमति युतास्तेऽपि पशुपाः द्विजेन्द्रान् द्विजेन्द्रान् अर्चन्तो बलिमदरुच्चैक्षितिभृते
Duruchaihi Kshitibrite.
बलिमदरुच्चैः क्षितिभृते व्यधः प्रादक्षिण्यं सुभृशमन्नादरयुताः त्वमादश शैलात्मा बलिमखिल. Did I say it right?
Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
बलिमखिल माभीरपुतः
That's the last word.
पुरतः
Balim
किल
Akhilam Im Balim Akhilam Abhira Puratah.
बलिम् अखिलम् आभीरपुरतः भवद्वाचं श्रुत्वा बहुमतियुतास्तेऽपि पशुपाः द्विजेन्द्रान् अर्चन्तो बलिमदरुच्चैः क्षितिभृते व्यदुः प्रादिक्षिण्यं सुभृशमन्नादरयुताः त्वमादश शैलात्मा बलिमखिलमा अभीरपुरतः.
Third line, last word, right? Subhrisham Im Anamannadharayutaha. Double nadar. Anamannadharayutaha.
सुरभुषम् अनमन्नादरयुताः.
भवद्वाचं श्रुत्वा बहुमतियुतास्ते
Venkat Karu, your voice is fading away. I lost your voice.
How about now?
Yeah, better.
भवद्वाचं श्रुत्वा बहुमतियुतास्तेऽपि पशुपाः द्विजेन्द्रानर्चन्तो बलिमददुरुच्चैक्षितिभृते व्यदुः प्रादक्षिण्यं सुभृशमनमन्नादरयुताः त्वमादेशैलात्मा बलिमखिलमाभीरपुरतः.
The last fourth line, first word. Tvamadash Shailatma.
त्वमादशैला भवद्वाचं श्रुत्वा बहुमतियुतास्तेऽपि पशुपाः द्विजेन्द्रानर्चन्तो बलिमददुरुच्चैक्षितिभृते व्यदुः प्रादक्षिण्यं सुभृशमनमन्नादरयुताः त्वमादशैलात्मा बलिमखिलमाभीरपुरतः.
And that second line, the Duruchaihi, okay, that he sound has to come because of the Visarga. Stanza 6. Avochashaivam tan kimiha bitatam he nigaditam girindro nanveshaha swabhalimupabhumte swavapusha ayam gotra dvishicha kupite rakshitumalam samastanityuktaha jahurshurakila gokula jushaha. Little bit continuation of the previous one. So because the Govardhana mountain has eaten all the food, or the food is gone, so Krishna says, see, I told you all, like you trust me on these things, right? The Govardhana mountain will take care of us no matter who comes to battle us or no matter who comes to do anything. And because of that, the Gopas became very happy because they felt like, okay, good. You know what? We didn't do it to Indra, which is a big mistake. They all feel still, but they felt, okay, we followed Krishna's, whatever his guidance is giving, we offered to Govardhana mountain and Govardhana mountain has consumed. So they all happily go back now. Avochash chaivam tan, comma, kimiha bitatam me nigaditam, comma, girindro nanveshaha, put a visarga again, nanveshaha, comma, swa balim upabhungte, I'm breaking at that ma there, swa balim upabhungte swavapusha, ayam gotro, comma, gotra dvishi cha kupite rakshitumalam, comma, samastan ityuktaha, I'm breaking at that na there, samastan ityuktaha, add a visarga, comma, Jahrushur Akhila Gokula Jushaha. Avochaschaivam tan kimiha vitatam me nigaditam girindro nanveshaha swabalim upabhungte swavapusha ayam gotro gotra dvishicha kupite rakshitu malam samastanityuktaha jahrushur akhila gokula jushaha.
Rajesh ji, in my book, the last line, Samastan it yuktvaha anu கொடுத்திருக்கு.
இல்ல uktada அது iti
Taha.
tada.
Okay.
There's no
Okay.
ba there. So
Oh, okay. Thank you.
अवोचश्चैवं तान् किमिह वितथं ते मे निगदितं गिरीन्द्रो नन्वेषः स्वबलिमुपभक्तैः स्ववपुषा
that word swabalim upabhungte swapusha.
स्वबलिमुपभुक्ते स्ववपुषा अयं गोत्रद्विषि च कुपिते रक्षितुमलं समस्तानित्युक्ताः जहृषुर अखिला गोकुलजुषः.
That second line, Lakshmi Garu, the ing sound nga. So bhungte.
Oh, bhungte.
Yeah.
Correct. Bhungte. अवोचश्चैवं तान् किमिह विततं मे निगदितं गिरीन्द्रो नन्वेषः स्वबलिमुपभुङ्क्ते स्ववपुषा अयं गोत्रद्विषि च कुपिते रक्षितुमलं समस्तानित्युक्ताः जिह्रुषुर अखिला गोकुलजुषः.
Jahrushur.
Jahrushur Akhila. Okay.
अवोचश्चैनं तान् किमिह वितथं मे निगदितं गिरीन्द्रो नन्वेषः स्वबलिमुपभुङ्क्ते स्ववपुषा अयं गोत्रद्विषि च कुपिते रक्षितुमलं समस्तान् इत्युक्ता जहृषुरखिला गोकुलजुषः.
Anikit Garu, that fourth line ityuktaha visarga you have to add there.
Okay. अवोचश्चैवं तान् किमिह विततं मे निगदितं गिरीन्द्रो नन्वेषः स्वबलिमुपभुङ्क्ते स्ववपुषा अयं गोत्रद्विषि च कुपिते रक्षितुमलं समस्तान् इत्युक्ताः जहृषुरखिला गोकुलजुषः.
परिप्रीता याथाः खलु भवदुपेता ब्रजजुषो ब्रजं यावत्तावन् निजमखविभङ्गं निशमयन् भवन्तं जानन्नप्यधिकरजसाक्रान्तहृदयो न सेहे देवेन्द्रः त्वदुपरचितात्मोन्नतिरपि. I'll say the meaning of 7 and 8 together. Pariprita yathaha, comma, khalu bhavadupeta brajajusho, comma, brajam yavat thavan nija makha vibhangam nishamayan. So you can clearly break those words. Bhavantam janannapyadika. That's one word. Janannapyadika. Rajasakranta, that becomes one word because of the S symbol coming there. Rajasakranta Kridayo, comma, again no pause in between there. Na sehe devendraha, that is goes away, visarga, comma. The next one, you cannot quite break it, that's going to be a long word. Tvadu parachitat monna therapy. The only place you can break it is tvad uparachitat, but that also may not be easy for you to say that. So you have to just say the whole word together. Tvadu parachitat monna therapy. Pariprita yathaha khalu bhavadupeta brajajusho brajam yavat yavattawan nija makha vibhangam nishamayan bhavantam janannapyadika rajasa kranta hridayo nasehe devendraha tvaduparachitaatmonatirapi.
परिप्रीतायाताः खलु भवदुपेता व्रजजुषो व्रजं यावत्तावन् निजमख विभङ्गं निशमयन् भवन्तं जानन्नप्यधिक रजसा क्रान्तहृदयो न सेहे देवेन्द्रः चितात्मोन्नतिरपि परिप्रीतायाताः खलु भवदुपेता व्रजजुषो व्रजं यावत्तावन् निजमखविभङ्गं निशमयन् भवन्तं जानन्नप्यधिक रजसा
Rajasa.
क्रान्तहृदयो न सेहे देवेन्द्रः त्वदुपरचितात्मो नतिरपि.
Venkat, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. परिप्रीता याताः खलु भवदुपेता व्रजजुषो व्रजं यावत्तावन् निजमखिलभङ्गं निशमयन् भवन्तं जानन्नप्यधिकरजसाक्रान्तहृदयो न सेहे देवेन्द्र त्वदुपरचितात्मोन्नतिरपि.
The fourth line, Devendraha, Visargada.
देवेन्द्रः त्वदुपरचितात्मोन्नतिरपि परिप्रीता याताः खलु भवदुपेता व्रजजुषो व्रजं यावत्तावन्निजमखिलभङ्गं निशमयन् भवन्तं जानन्नप्यधिकरजसाक्रान्तहृदयो न सेहे देवेन्द्र त्वदुपरचितात्मोन्नतिरपि.
Monatirapi.
मोन्नतिरपि. Okay.
Yeah. And then the second line, Nija, it's Makha. You are saying Akhila or some other word there.
Nija Makha Vibhanga. Okay. Sure.
Say, Manushyatvam yato madhubhidapi deveshwa vinayam vidatte chete nashtas tridasha sadasam kopi mahima tatasya dvamseshe pashupahatakasya shriyamiti pravrittastvam jetum sakhila magava durmadhanidhi. So the cowherds are all happy, everything is fine, taken care of. They feel they have done their duty. They go back home. Now Indra is very upset because he feels like, the sacrifice has been stopped. Whatever is supposed to come offerings, which means nobody is respecting him, he feels, right? And here, Bhattacharya says, even though you are a demigod and you are in place because of the Bhagwan, applies to all of us as well. Sometimes we are swelling with pride. We say, who can take away my rights? This is like my rights. These people have been doing this for me all these years. Who is this boy who can actually come and take away that? So he says the Rajo Guna, the desire and passion which is there in Indra is swelling up. So Indra then gets very offended by it, and then he goes and then he feels very bad. So when others go and tell him that this is like an incarnation, of course the incarnation has different levels, right? We saw in Prithu Charitram also, Indra comes and tries to disturb Prithu. In Narayaneyam Avataram also, Indra sends the people to disturb Nara and Narayana. So there is like the different levels of these avatars. And Indra has always been a little bit, at that time trying to disturb. So here Indra feels that if all these humans who are there in Braja, if they stop worshipping or respecting demigods, then he says that becomes the end of everything. There's no hierarchy or power there, right? So that's why he says that Tridasha Sadasam. He says this insult is not just for me. This is for all the demigods who are there. It's an insult. because if these people stop worshipping us, then there'll be no respect and there's no hierarchy. And he says, whoever this person is here, Krishna who's there, who's like a Pashupa, who's like a Gopa, who's actually there, even if this is Bhagavan in human form, he cannot respect the demigods. The appropriate respect has to be shown to the demigods. That's Indra's logic. So he says because of that, he's getting offended that none of them are caring for him and respecting here. Manushyatvam yato, comma, madhu bhidapi deveshva vinayam, comma, bidhatte chet. So you will have a double na there. So we're going to break one of the na, put it, chet, it, comma. Second na will continue. Nashtas tridasha sadasam kopi mahima tatascha dhvamsishye, comma, pashupa hatakasya shriyamiti, comma, pravritastvam jetum, comma, sakila magava durmada nidhi. Manushyatvam yato madhubhidapi deveshva vinayam vidhatte chet nashtastridasha sadasam kopi mahima tatascha dvamsishye pashupa hatakasya shriyamiti pravritastvam jetum sakhila magava durmada nidhi.
मनुष्यत्वं यातो मधुभिदपि देवेष्व विनयं विधत्ते चेत् नष्टस्त्रिदश सदसां कोऽपि महिमा ततश्च ध्वंसिष्ये पशुपहतकस्य श्रियमिति प्रवृत्तस्त्वां जेतुं सकिल मघवा दुर्मदनिधिः. मनुष्यत्वं यातो मधुभिदपि देवेष्व विनयं विधत्ते चेत् नष्टस्त्रिदश सदसां कोऽपि महिमा तदश्चं ध्वंसिष्ये पशुपहतकस्य श्रियमिति प्रवृत्तस्त्वां जेतुं सकिल मघवा दुर्मदनिधिः.
मनुष्यस्त्वं यातो मधुभिदपि देवेष्व विनयं विधत्ते चेत् नष्टत्रिदश सदसां कोऽपि महिमा ततश्च ध्वंसिष्ये पशुपहतकस्य श्रियमिति प्रवृत्तस्त्वां जेतुं सकिल मघवा दुर्मदनिधिः. मनुष्यस्त्वं यातो मधुभिदपि देवेष्व विनयं विधत्ते चेत् नष्टत्रिदश सदसां कोऽपि महिमा ततश्च ध्वंसिष्ये पशुपहतकस्य श्रियमिति प्रवृत्तस्त्वां जेतुं सकिल मघवा दुर्मदनिधिः.
त्वधावासं हन्तुं प्रलय जलदानं भरभुवि प्रहिन्वन् बिभ्राणः कुलिशमयमभ्रे गमनः प्रतस्तेन्यैः अन्तर्दहनमरुदाध्यैर्विकसितो भवन्मायानैव त्रिभुवनपते मोहयति कम्. So Indra then decides, like there are different types of rain that can come. There's rain which sprinkles which we get, and then there's a heavy thunderstorm and showers which we get. So it says Indra is directing those heavy thunderstorms and rains to be ready to fall on Brajabhumi. So at the time, all those other demigods are telling Indra, like, what are you doing? Why are you doing all these things? But like Bhattaripat says, right, Bhavan Maya says, when this illusion takes over, that you are the center of the universe and everything revolves around you, when you get that feeling in you, then you don't listen to anybody else. So Indra says, no, even though all these people are advising him, saying, don't do this, he feels that he has been offended and he has to take action. And then he goes and gets ready to flood the Vrajabhumi with rain. Twadavasam hantum, comma, pralaya jaladanambara bhuvi, comma, prahinvan bibranaha, comma, So next word, I'm going to break it into a few parts. Kulisham ayam abreba, if you want to. Kulisham ayam abreba gamanaha. Pratasthenyaihi. So the ra goes away, visarga comma. Pratasthenyaihi. Antar dahana marudadhyai vihasito, comma. Bhavan mayanaiva, comma. Tribhuvana pate mohayati kam. त्वधावासं हन्तुं प्रलयजलदानम्बरभुवि प्रहिन्वन् बिभ्राणः कुलिशमयमभ्रेभगमनः प्रतस्तेन्यैः अन्तर्दहनमरुदाध्यैर्विकसितो भवन्मायानैव त्रिभुवनपते मोहयति कम्.
त्वदावासं हन्तुं प्रलयजलदानम्बरभुवि प्रहिण्वन् विभ्राणः
कुलिशम् अयम् अभ्रेब.
कुलिशमयम् अभ्रेभगमनः प्रतस्तेन्यैर् अन्तर्दहनमरुदाध्यैर्विहासितो भवन्मायानैव त्रिभुवनपते मोहयति कम्.
A third line, that ra goes away. Pratasthenyaihi.
प्रतस्तेन्यैः
Tenyaihi.
प्रतस्तेन्यैः. ओके.
Yeah.
त्वदावासं हन्तुं प्रलयजलदानम्बरभुवि प्रहिण्वन् बिभ्राणः कुलिशमयम् अभ्रेभगमनः प्रतस्तेन्यैः अन्तर्दहनमरुदाद्वैर्विहासितो भवन्मायानैव त्रिभुवनपते मोहयति कम्.
त्वदावासं हन्तुं प्रलयजलदानम्बरभुवि प्रहिण्वन् बिभ्राणः कुलिशमयमभ्रेभगमनः प्रतस्तेन्यैः अन्तर्दहनमरुदाद्यैर्विहसितो भवन्मायानैव त्रिभुवनपते मोहयति कम्. त्वदावासं हन्तुं प्रलयजलदानम्बरभुवि प्रहिण्वन् बिभ्राणः कुलिशमयमभ्रेभगमनः प्रतस्तेन्यैः अन्तर्दहनमरुदाद्यैर्विहसितो भवन्मायानैव त्रिभुवनपते मोहयति कम्.
सुरेन्द्र क्रुद्धश्चेत् द्विजकरुणया शैलकृपयापि अनातङ्कोऽस्माकं नियत इति विश्वास्य पशुपान् अहो किन्ना यातो गिरिभिदिति सञ्चिन्त्य निवसन् मरुद्गेहाधीश प्रणुतमुरवैरिन्मम गतान्. So Krishna then gives a heads up to all these gopas. He knows what is going to happen. So he gives a heads up saying, even if it rains heavily, even if there is heavy thunderstorms and everything that comes, don't worry. There are two people who are going to save us. He says the good deeds you all did to the Brahmanas and to the Govardhana mountain to which who you worship is going to protect you. So don't worry. So with that, Krishna is waiting, saying, okay, when is Indra going to come with the rain? So he's just, you are waiting, Krishna. Oh, Guru Arapa, please eradicate all my ailments. Surendraha, put a ich, Surendra, Krudhashchet, comma, Dvija, Karunaya, Shaila, Kripayapi. So put a P at the end, comma, Kripayapi. Next line, the Pya goes away. It becomes a A. So, Anatankosmakam, comma, Niyata iti Vishwasya Pashupan. Aho kinnayato giribhiditi, comma, sanchintya nivasanne, comma, marudgehadhisha, comma, pranuda muravairin mamagadan. Surendra kruddhaschet dvijakarunaya shailakripayapi anatankosmakam niyata iti vishwasya pashupan aho kinha yato giribhiditi sanchintya nivasanne marudghehadhisha pranudamura mamagadhan.
Surendra kruddhaschet द्विजकरुणया शैलकृपयापि
Anatankosmakam.
अनातङ्कोऽस्माकं नियत इति विश्वास्य पशुपान् अहो किन्नायातो गिरिबिदिति सञ्चिन्त्य निवसन् मरुद्गेहाधीश प्रणुद मुरवैरिन्मम गदान् सुरेन्द्रः क्रुद्धश्चेत् द्विजकरुणया शैलकृपयापि अनादङ्कोऽस्माकं नियत इति विश्वास्य पशुपान् अहो किन्नायातो गिरिबिदिति सञ्चिन्त्य निवसन् मरुद्गेहाधीश प्रणुद मुरवैरिन्मम गदान्
सुरेन्द्र क्रुद्धश्चेत् द्विजकरुणया शैलकृपयापि अनातङ्कोऽस्माकं नियत इति विश्वास्य पशुपान् अहो किन्नायातो गिरिभिदिति सञ्चिन्त्य निवसन् मरुद्गेहाधीश प्रणुदमुरवैरिन्मम गदान् सुरेन्द्र क्रुद्धश्चेत् द्विजकरुणया शैलकृपयापि अनातङ्कोऽस्माकं नियत इति विश्वास्य पशुपान् अहो किन्नायातो गिरिभिदिति सञ्चिन्त्य निवसन् मरुद्गेहाधीश प्रणुदमुरवैरिन्मम गदान्.
The third line, the comma is after giri bhiditi. Okay. Aho kinna yato giri bhiditi. Then comma. Okay.
Okay.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Go to Dasakam 63. Which is Govardhana Uddharana Varnana. Uddharana is to lift it. So lifting the Govardhana mountain. This one has a couple of tune changes because the chandas changes in between for a few stanzas. So first stanza is one tune, from second stanza it's a different tune. Dadrushire kila takshanamakshatasthanita jrumbita kampita diktataha sushamaya bhavadangatulam gataha brajapado parivari dharastwaya. So finally the day comes where it starts, the dark clouds start accumulating over Brajabhumi. And like I always say, but any time there is a dark cloud, lightning comes, he says, Krishna, it is like you. Like you are dark skinned, and then the lightning in you that's what is showing up in the clouds. Even when Krishna was born in the Shakam 38, it says, Kanti Brajairima Ghanagana Mandalaidyam Abrunvati Viruruche Kila Varsha Vela. It says, in this dark clouds, I saw a lightning, which is just like seeing you, Krishna, the dark form of you and the light in you. So similarly, the dark clouds and thunder, everything is accumulating over Brajabhumi for a heavy downpour that's going to happen. Dadrishire kila tat kshanam akshata, put a plus, stanita jrumbhita kampita diktataha. Means all over, all directions, there is heavy thunder and lightning which is coming there. Sushamaya bhavadanga tulam gataha. Add a visarga, you won't have it. Add a visarga, gataha, comma. Braja padopari varidharas tvaya. Dadrushire kila takshanamakshatasthanita jrumbhita kampita diktataha. Sushamaya bhavadanga tulam gataha. व्रजपदो परिवारिधरास्त्वया
ददृशिरे किल तक्षणमक्षत स्तनितजुम्प्रितकम्पिततित्कटाः दिक्कटाः सुषमया भवदङ्गतुलां गताः व्रजपदोपरिवारिधरास्त्वया ददृशिरे किल तक्षणमक्षत स्तनितजुम्प्रितकम्पितदिक्कटाः सुषमया भवदङ्गतुलां गताः व्रजपदोपरिवारिधरास्त्वया
ददृशुरे किल तक्षणमक्षतस्त्यनिति जृम्भितकम्पितदित्तटाः सुष्मया भवदङ्गतुलां गताः व्रजपदो परिवारिधरास्त्वया
Second line, first word, stanita. Stanita jrumbita.
Tanita. Okay. ददृशुरे किल तक्षणमक्षततनितदृम्बितकम्पितदित्तटाः सुष्मया भवदङ्गतुलां गताः व्रजपदो परिवारिधरास्त्वया.
We'll switch halfway. Minu, you can be a student, and Krishnanji, you can be a student. Sanskrit 2. The tune changes in the chandas changes in 2. विपुलकरकमिश्रैः तोयधारानिपातैः दिशि दिशि पशुपानां मण्डले दण्ड्यमाने कुपितहरिकृतान्नः पाहि पाहीति तेषां वचनमजितशृण्वन् माभिभीतेत्यभाणीः. So when the rain starts, it starts slow and then it starts increasing to the extent that everything is getting covered with water. There's just water everywhere. So it says you cannot distinguish between high areas and low areas. It's just water everywhere. So naturally, when that happens and the wind comes, things start falling like we normally see here. The trees start falling, and all the animals which are there, all the cows which are there, and the cow herds, they all get very afraid because it's a heavy torrential downpour. And what do? They all remember what Krishna. They said Krishna is the one who told us not to worship Indra. Now see all what is happening. So they all rush to Nandagopa's house. So they go worship Nandagopa's house and says, Krishna, you told us not to worship Indra. Now see all what is happening. So you only have to find out a solution. They go to Nandagopa and say, please help us out. So, when all this is happening, so Krishna then comes to raise, okay, finally Indra has come, right? He's decided to, trouble these people of Rajabhumi. And then Krishna is telling them, first he says, don't worry, because you have to first give them the confidence not to worry, right? So he says, don't worry, things will be fine. Vipula Karaka Mishraihi is goes away, Visarga comma. Toya Dhara Nipataihi under Visarga comma. Next line on top of the Dishi, there is a ir that will go away. Dishi Pashupanam Mandale Dandyamane Kupita Hari Kritannaha, comma, Pahi Pahiti Tesham, then put a plus, Bachana Majita Shrinvan Ma Bhibhitetya Bhanihi. So that entire, the third line, Kritannaha, comma, and then the whole third and fourth line together. विपुलकरकमिश्रैः तोयधारानिपातैः दिशि दिशि पशुपानां मण्डले दण्ड्यमाने कुपितहरिकृतान्नः पाहि पाहीति तेषां वचनमजितशृण्वन् मा बिभीतेत्यबाणीः.
विपुलकरकमिश्रैः तोयधारानिपातैः दिशि दिशि पशुपानां मण्डले दण्ड्यमाने कुपितहरिकृतान्नः पाहि पाहीति तेषां वचनमजितशृण्वन् मा बिभीतेत्यबाणिः. विपुलकरकमिश्रैः तोयधारानिपातैः दिशि दिशि पशुपानां मण्डले दण्ड्यमाने कृतान्नः पाहि पाहीति तेषां वचनमजितशृण्वन् मा बिभीदेत्यबाणीः.
विपुलकरगमिश्रैः तोयधारानिपातैः दिशि दिशि पशूनां मण्डले दण्ड्यमाने कुपितहरिकृतान्नः पाहि पाहीति तेषां वचनमजिदशृण्वान् मा भीत्येत्य भाणिः विपुलकरगमिश्रैः तोयधारानिपातैः दिशि दिशि पशूनां मण्डले दण्ड्यमाने कुपितहरिकृतान्नः पाहि पाहीति तेषां वचनमजिदशृण्वान् मा भीत्येत्य भाणिः
The second line, Pashupanam, that second word.
दिशि दिशि पशुपानां.
Stanza 3. Kula iha kalu gotro daivatam gotra shatror vihati migasarundhyat konuvas samshayosmin iti sahasitavadi deva govardhanadrim tvaritam udamumulo mulato baladhodbhyam. So then Krishna is he is thinking, right, saying that any time anybody has a swelling of pride in them, that has to be immediately quelled, because that is the biggest problem, because then you forget what is the truth and what is the illusion here. So he says Indra is now decided to come and attack and trouble the Vrajabhumi. So there's a lesson that has to be taught to all the demigods, that you cannot misuse your power, right? You cannot misuse your powers towards hurting others. So he says, I have to take care of Indra, at the same time I have to also take care of the Vrajabhumi, people of the Vraja. So the Krishna says, don't worry. Like I've told you, Govardhana and the saints are going to protect us. So you follow me. So they all follow Krishna. And then you, Krishna, who's Bala Dorvyam, who's a small child, the 8-year-old child. And then you then desire to Govardhan, you then desire to lift the Govardhana mountain, and you get it. And like I told you all you may not remember it, but when we were talking about the creation, I was telling how understanding the creation is important, because you have to then realize that, like we said, there are like so many worlds in this Brahmandam. We have so many 14 different worlds, and there are so many such Brahmandams, and all of those universes only constitute 1/4 of the energy of Bhagavan. There is 3/4, which is spiritual energy, which is all beyond all these material worlds. So when that Bhagavan is incarnating, then lifting the mountain is not a big deal, because you have to realize the whole earth itself is so insignificant in the context of this universe, right? So if that energy which is creating this entire Brahmandam, out of which earth is such a tiny speck in that universe, if that Bhagavan is incarnating, lifting the mountain why is it going to be complicated, right? So that's why it was important to understand the process of creation and all of those things, so we don't question how is Krishna lifting it, and it's going to come more. How Krishna lifts it is going to come a little bit later, but I'm just saying. So Krishna then decides to lift the Govardhana mountain here. And Bhagavatam, it says, just like how a boy will come and pluck a mushroom out of the field. So Krishna, you just lift the Govardhana mountain that easily. Kula iha khalu gotro daivatam gotra shatror. We're just going to put first line and second line together. So put a plus there. So the ir which is coming in the second line, we're going to join with this. Gotra shatror bihati miha sarundyat. Put a comma there. So continuously till that point, comma there. Konu vaha, put a is. Konu vas samshayosmin. Iti sahasita vadi deva govardhanadrim, comma. Tvaritam, I'm just breaking at that ma. Tvaritam udamu mulo mulato bala dorbhyam. Kula iha khalu gotro daivatam gotra shatror bihati miha sarundhyat konuvas samshayosmin iti sahasitavadi deva govardhanadrim tvaritam udamu mulo mulato bala dorbhyam.
कुलैः खलु गोत्रो दैवतं गोत्रशत्रो विहतिमिह सरुन्द्यात् गोनुवः संशयोऽस्मिन् इति सहसितवादी देवगोवर्धनाद्रिं त्वरितमुदमुमूलो मूलतो बालदोर्भ्याम् कुलैः खलु गोत्रो दैवतं गोत्रशत्रो विहतिमिह सरुन्द्यात् को नु वः संशयोऽस्मिन् इति सहसितवादी देवगोवर्धनाद्रिं त्वरितमुदमुमूलो मूलतो बालतोऽप्याम्.
कुल इह खलु गोत्रो दैवतं गोत्रशत्रो विहदिमिह सरुन्ध्यात् को नु वः संशयास्मिन् इति सहितवादिदेवा गोवर्धनाद्रिं तुरिदमुददु मूलदो बालदोभ्यम्. कुल
Krishna, the third line, sahasita, that word, iti sahasita vadi.
इति सहसितवादी. कुल इह खलु गोत्रो दैवतं गोत्रशत्रो विहदिमिह सरुन्ध्यात् को नु वः संशयोऽस्मिन् इति सहसितवादिदेव गोवर्धनाद्रिं तुरिदमुदमो मूलदो बालदोभ्याम्.
And suppose तदनु गिरिवरस्य प्रोद्धृतस्यास्य तावत् सिकतिलमृदुदेशे दूरतो वारितापे परिकरपरिमिश्रान् धेनुगोपान् अधस्तात् उपनिददत् अधत्ता हस्तपद्मेन शैलम्. So next few stanzas are going to describe Krishna lifting the mountain, but here it says you then Krishna very easily with your hasta padmena, with your soft lotus-like hands of an 8-year-old boy, you decide to lift the Govardhana mountain. And then, the bottom which was there was, of course, it was able to, it was big enough to cover. Then Krishna tells all the people of Brajabhumi saying, all of you come. There's enough space for all of you. You bring in your cows, you bring in your calves, you bring in all the items from your house, and everything will fit under the Govardhana mountain. And he says, do not be afraid, the mountain is not going to fall, because that's going to be a worry for everybody, right? Like, what if the mountain falls? They're all going to get crushed. So he first tells them, do not worry, the mountain is not going to fall. And then he invites everybody to come under the mountain. Tadanu girivarasya prodhatasyasya tavat, sikatila mrudu deshe दूरतो वारितापे परिकर parimishran denu gopan. I'm just breaking at that na. Denu gopan adhastat. Put it at the end of that line and comma. Denu gopan adhastat, comma. Next line, the du becomes a u. So this first word is a little tough word, so I'll want to break it. So there are 4 dhas which are coming in there in Sanskrit. Dha. So first dha, second dha, again a first dha and a second dha. 4 dhas in Sanskrit. The third one, we're going to break it into a it and a a. So it's upanidhadat. Upanidhadat adhatta. Okay, so that's the right way to break it, and you'll be able to say it. Otherwise, all these das will get very mixed up. So upanidhadat adhatta hasta padmena shailam. Tadanu girivarasya prodhatasyasya tavat sikatila mrudu deshe durato varitape parikara parimishran dhenu gopan adhastat upanidhadat adhatta hasta padmena shailam.
ராஜேஷ் என்னோடதுல உபநிதத் அதத்தா தான் கொடுத்துருக்கு. உபநிததத்தா.
ஆமா, அங்க 4 தாஸ் வரணும்.
உபநிதத். Oh, okay, one more dha then. Okay, all right. Dadhanu girivarasya dhritasya tavat sikatila mrudu deshe durato varidabe parikara paramishran धेनुगोपान् अतस्तात् उपनिदधत् अदत्ता हस्तपद्मेन शैलं ददनु गिरिवरस्य धृतस्यास्य धावत् सिकतिलमृतुदेशे दूरतो वारिदाभे परिकरपरमिश्रान् धेनुगोपान् अतस्तात् उपनिदधत् अदद्धा हस्तपद्मेन शैलम्.
And the third line left, it's Parimishran. You said
Parikara
Paramishran.
Parimishran.
Parikara Parimishran.
Parimishran.
तदनुगिरिवरस्य पौधुदातस्य तावत् सिकलितमृदुदेशे दूरधो वारितापे परिकरपरिमिश्रान् धेनुकोपानदस्तात् उपनिददत् अददद्धा हस्तपद्मेन शैलम्.
And that last word, Krishnaji, Upanidhadat, you said that correct. Adhatta.
Adhatta.
Yeah.
Okay, let me
The
correct.
second line, first word, Sikatila Mridudeshe.
तदनुगिरिवरस्य होध्यतादस्य तावत् सिकलितमृदुदेशे दूरतो वारितापे परिकरपरिमिश्रान् धेनुगोपानदस्तात् उपनिददत् अदद्धाता हस्तपद्मेन शैलम्.
Again, that last line, you added an extra dha at the end. Adhatta.
Adhatta.
Yeah. That's fine. भवति विद्रुतशैले बालिकाभिर्वयस्यैः अपि विहितविलासं केलिलापादिलोले सविदमिलितधेनुरेकहस्तेन कण्डूयति सति पशुपालास्तोषमैषन्त सर्वे. And also the beautiful description of how Krishna is lifting this Govardhana mountain, right? So of course, when they are all standing in there, there's no food, there's nothing that's going to be there. But then they're looking at this beauty of Krishna lifting the mountain. It says that Krishna, the way you lift is you're not even attempting to lift it with your two hands or with one hand. So, some sort of picture of Krishna lifting with the palm. He says you didn't lift with any of that stuff. You just lifted with the pinky finger of your left hand. And he says that is enough, right? The mountain will rest on my pinky finger. So you just stand, Krishna, in your usual style, crossing your legs with one hand, left hand, pinky finger up, mountain resting on it. Your other hand is free right now, right? Because what do you do with the other hand? So all your friends are coming, all the boys and girls of Brajabhumi are coming. So Balikabir Vayasyehi, all the kids of your age, you are just continuing to chat with them in a very casual manner. This other hand is free, so you're caressing all the calves, right? So it's as if you are just standing there, just relaxing under the mountain, talking to all the boys and girls and playing with the calves. And one hand of yours, the pinky finger, is just lifted with the mountain resting on it. That's the right description. It's not even like Krishna is lifting it. The mountain is just desiring to rest on Krishna's pinky finger. And that's how you are standing. So we're looking at you in this pose of yours. All this Vrajabhumi, all these people, they feel that their heart and the stomach is all getting filled and they don't have to eat. So if you all go to Vrindavan, there is this, what is that place? Prem Mandir. If you go there, at night, they have, like I think Mr. mentioned, they have this lifestyle replica of a lot of these events, incidents, right? And there's a lifestyle replica of Krishna with all the Vrajabhumi. Because a mountain, you cannot replicate lifestyle, but it's beautifully lit at night. And they have this entire thing of Krishna standing on a rock and lifting this, and all the people and the cattle and everybody standing there. And you can kind of see that version of it. Anyway, so Krishna is lifting it very easily and then talking to all his friends. Bhavati Bidhrita Shaile Balikabhir Vayasyehi. Put a visarga comma, Vayasyehi. Next, the Ra becomes a. Api Bihita Vilasam Keli Lapadi Lole Sabidha Militha Dhenu Reka Hastena Kandu, put a plus, Yati Sati, and then a comma. So that third line continues, Yati Sati. Pashupalas Toshamaishanta Sarve. Bhavati Bhidruta Shaile Balika Bhirvayasyehi अपि विहितविलासं केलिलापादिलोले सविधमिलितधेनुरेकहस्तेन कण्डूयति सति पशुपालास्तोषमैषन्त सर्वे।
भवति विद्रुतशैले बालिकाभिर्वयस्यैः अभिविहितविलासं केलिलापादिलोले सविधमिलिदधेनुरेकहस्तेन कण्डूयति सति पशुपालास्तोषमैषन्त सर्वे। भवति विद्रुतशैले बालिकाभिर्वयस्यैः अभिविहितविलासं केलिलापादिलोले सविधमिलितधेनुरेकहस्तेन कण्डूयति सति पशुपालास्तोषमैषन्त सर्वे।
भवति विधृतशैले बालिकाभिर्वयस्यैः अपि विहितविलासं केलिलापातिलोले सविधमिति लधेनुरेकहस्तेन कण्डू यदि सति पशुपालस्तोषमैषन्त सर्वे.
Krishnanji, the fourth line, the Kandu Yati Sati will have to come together and then a comma, okay?
भवति वृद्धशैले बालिकाभिर्वयस्यैः अभिविहितविलासं केलिलापातिलोले सविधमिति लधेनुरेकहस्तेन कण्डूयति सति पशुपालास्तोषमैषन्त सर्वे.
Third line, Milita, that word. Savida Milita.
सविधमिलितधेनुरेक.
Okay, from 6, the tune changes. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 goes back to the first stanza tune. Atimahan giriresha tuvamhake karasaro-ruhitam dharate chiram kimidam-adbhutam-adribalanbiti twadavaloki birakati gopakaihi. So when this Gopa sees this, now naturally the question is going to come, how is Krishna able to lift this mountain? But they don't think Krishna is lifting the mountain. That is there. So they are just so naive. They feel that because we offered all this to Govardhana, and then Govardhana ate that food, it's like the mountain is blessing us right now. So he says somehow some magic has happened that the mountain itself has risen. And Krishna is just going and standing underneath it. So while they see Krishna lifting it, they feel it is the blessing of the mountain which has lifted itself. And then Krishna is standing and Krishna is holding it because of the mountain, not because of the greatness of Krishna. They don't realize the true potency of what is actually happening here. So Ati Mahan Giriresha tu Vamake, Thara Saroruhi Tam Dharate Chiram. So they wonder, how can this boy lift it with his left hand, with his pinky so easily? It's just unimaginable, right? So Kimidam Adbhutam, I'm just breaking those words. Kimidam Adbhutam Adri Balanbiti. So this in Sanskrit, for those who are following it, this Nviti will come. Nviti, Nviti. So that balam, which is coming, the previous word, that takes an in sound. So it becomes like a double in sound. So balanviti. So it'll kind of, those two words, you have to say it together. So balanviti, Twadavaloki bhirakati. That's one word. Twadavaloki bhirakati gopakaihi. Atimahan giriresha tuvamake karasaro-ruhitam dharate chiram kimidam-adbhutam-adribalanviti twadavaloki bhirakati gopakaihi.
अतिमहान् गिरिरेश तु वामके करसरोरुहितं तरते चिरं किमिदमद्भुतम् अद्रि रैट्
Adri, yeah.
अद्रि सारी किमितमद्भुतमद्रिबलन्विधि त्वदवलोकिभिराकति गोपकैः अतिमहान् गिरिरेश तु वामके करसरोरुहितं धरते चिरं किमितमद्भुतमद्रिबलन्विधि त्वदवलोकिभिरागति गोपकैः
अतिमहान् गिरिरेषु ते वामके करसरोरुहितं धरते चिरम् किमिदमद्भुतमद्रिबल्न्युति त्वदवलोकिभिराकथि गोपकैः अतिमहान् गिरिरेष तु मे मावके करसरोरुहितं धरते चिरम् किमिदमद्भुतमद्रिबल्न्वति त्वदवलोकिभिराकतिकोपकैः
Seven. अहह धार्ष्ट्यममुष्यवटोर्गिरिं व्यतितबाहुरसावरूपयेत् इति हरिस्त्वयि बद्धविगर्हणो दिवससप्तकमुग्रमवर्षयत्. So 7 and 8 together meaning. And we just repeat one time so that we can finish this dasakam. Ahaha darshyam. So ir and a yas on darshyam amushya. So I'm just breaking at that ma. Darshyam amushya vator girim, comma. Vyatita bahura sava varopaye. That's one word. Bahura sava varopaye. Iti haris twayi baddha vigarhano, comma. Divasa saptakam, breaking at that ma. Divasa saptakam ugrama varshayate. Ahaha darshyama mushyavatogirhim vyatita bahurasavavaropahit iti haristvayi baddha vigarhano divasa saptakam ugrama varshayate.
अहहदाष्ट्यम् अमुष्यवटोर्गिरिं व्यतितबाहुरसावरोपयेत् इति हरिस्त्वयि बद्धविगर्हणो दिवससप्तकमुग्रमवर्षयत्
One time
अहहदाष्ट्यम्
Puramino. One time.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
अहदाष्ट्यममुष्ट्यवडो गिरिं व्यथितबाहुरसावरोपयेत् इति हरिस्त्वयि बद्धविगर्हणो दिवससप्तकमुग्रवर्षयत्.
The first line, darshyam amushya, that word.
दाष्ट्यममुष्य.
Yeah. Sansa 8. Achalati tvayi deva padatmadam galita sarva jale cha ghanodkare apakrite marutam patihi twadabhishankita dhi samupadravat. So in Krishna and all these gopas ended up going under the Govardhana mountain for protection from the rain. So Indra was feeling very offended by that because he's trying to like cause trouble, but nothing is happening because under the Govardhana mountain is so massive that they are all safe. Absolutely nothing is happening to them or nothing is happening to any other people. So he then starts this thesis for 7 days. There is continuous rain. So Saptakam Ugrama Varshayate. So heavy rain continues for 7 days. So in those 7 days, the beauty of this Govardhana lifting is Achalati. He says, Krishna, you did not move your feet once. So you stood in the same position, right? And then you lifted the Govardhana mountain for 7 days in that position. And all of them just stood, all of them were taking rest and people were sleeping, people were doing all kinds of things. You did not move. You just stood there, Achalati, to show Indra that there's nothing that can be done here, right? And you kept standing like that for 7 days. And finally, 7 days, and all the clouds became empty. There was no more water left. Indra finally decides there's nothing that can be done in this case. And he realizes what a mistake has happened. And then finally, the rain begins to subside. So that's the 7 days of Govardhana lifting, where Krishna then stood there. Achalati tvayi deva padat padam, comma, galita sarva jale cha ghanodkare apahrite marutam patihi, visarga, comma, patihi, twadabhishankita. That next line goes away. Twadabhishankita dhihi, put is dhis samupadravat. Achalati tvayi deva padat padam galita sarva jale cha ghanotkare apakrite marutam patihi twadabhishankita dhi samupadravat.
अचलति द्वयि देवपदात् पदं कलितसर्वजले च कनोत्करे अपहृते मरुदां पतिः त्वदपि शङ्कितदे समुपाद्रवत्
अचलति त्वयि देवपदाद्भुतं गलितसौवजले च घनोत्करे अपहृते मरुतां पतिः त्वदभिशङ्कितधिः समुपाद्रवत्.
Stanza 9. Shamamupeyushi varshabhare tadha pashupadhenukule cha vinirgate bhuvi vibho samupahita bhudaraha pramuditaif pashupaif parirebhishe. So finally, when the wind subsided, the rain stopped, the clouds have gone, and finally the sun comes out and the rain is completely stopped. Krishna then tells the Gopas, you are all free to go back now. The rain is not going to come anymore. Everything is fine. So take your cows, take all your belongings, and go back to your respective houses. So now it talks about now the Gopas. Initially, when Krishna lifted it, they were thinking the mountain just lifted. But now they're beginning to see something is there, right? There's no way this boy was just standing there for 7 days, and some of it is going to continue into the next chapter. But each of them react to Krishna in different ways. Some of them are doing it prostrating. They're saying, you are some kind of a demigod. Some of them are embracing him with love. So each one is reacting to this differently, right? A lot of people are thanking Krishna. So each one reacts according to what their emotions are, and they begin to think there's something suspicious about this boy, which they will ask Nandagopa in the next chapter. So with that, everybody finally goes home, and then the rains are completely stopped. Shamam upeyushi varshabhare tada, pashupa dhenu kule cha vinirgate bhuvi vibho samupahita bhudharaha, pramuditaihi, put a F, pashupaihi, put a F, parirebhishe. So you can repeat twice, I think we have 8 more minutes. So शममुपेयुषि वर्षभरे तथा पशुपधेनुकुले च विनिर्गते भुवि विभो समुपाहित भूधरः प्रमुदितैः पशुपैः परिरेभिषे.
शममुपेयुषि वर्षभरे दता पशुपदेनुकुले च विनिर्गते भुवि विभो समुपाहितभूतरः प्रमुदितैः पशुपैः परिरेभिषे शममुपेयुषि वर्षभरे ददा पशुपदेनुकुले च विनिर्गते भुवि विभो समुपाहितभूधरः प्रमुदितैः पशुपैः परिरेभिषे.
शममुपेयुषि वर्षभरे तथा पशुपधेनुकुले च विनिर्गते भुवि विभो समुपाहितभूतरः प्रमुदितैः पशुपैः परिरेभिषे. शममुपेयुषि वर्षभरे तथा पशुपधेनुकुले च विनिर्गते भुवि विभो समुपाहितभूतरः प्रमुदितैः पशुपैः परिरेभिषे.
That's it. धरणिमेव पुरा धृतवानसि क्षितिधरोद्धरणे तव कश्रमः इति नुतस्त्रिदशैः कमलापथे गुरुपुरालय पालय मां गदात्. So this the Govardhana lifting. So of course all the demigods, everybody praised Krishna for what he's done, but Bhattaripad always sums it up best. Like we said, I mentioned about how the one who's created the entire world, lifting Govardhana is not a big deal. He says 2 important points here. He says you previously lifted the entire earth, Dharani, right? The earth in the Varaha Avataram with the tip of your tusk, right? That's how big Varaha Avataram was. So in that Avataram, when you lifted the entire earth, lifting this Govardhana mountain is kashramaha. It's like what's not a big deal at all, right? So it was absolutely nothing for you, Krishna. But if you are able to lift that Govardhana mountain so easily, then helping me eradicate all my diseases and ailments is even more insignificant, right? So please eradicate all the diseases and ailments. I have a Guru Ayappa. And with this, the Govardhana Leela comes to an end in Dashakam 62 and 63. And the next is going to be the Govinda Pattabhishekam, which will happen in 64. Dharanimeva Pura Dhritavanasi, Kshitidharodharane, double the coming there, Kshitidharodharane, Tava Kaha, put a ish, kash shramaha, iti nutas tridashaihi, put a ih sound, tridashaih, kamalapate, Guru Puralaya Palaya Mam Gadat. Dharanimeva puradhritavanasi, Kshitidarodharane tava kashramaha, iti nutas tridashaih kamalapate, Guru Puralaya Palaya Mam Gadat.
धरणिमेव पुरा धृतवानसि क्षितिधरोद्धरणे तव कश्रमः इति नुदस्धृतशैः कमलापते गुरुपुरालय पालय मां गतात् धरणिमेव पुरा धृतवानसि क्षितिधरोद्धरणे तव कश्रमः इति नुदस्धृतशैः कमलापते गुरुपुरालय पालय मां गतात्. श्री कृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः.
धरणिमेव पुरा धृतवानसि क्षितिधरोद्धरणे तव कश्रमः इति नुदस्त्रिदशैकमलापते गुरुपुरालय पालय मां गतात् धरणिमेव पुरा धृतवानसि क्षितिधरोद्धरणे तव कश्रमः इति नुदस्त्रिदशैः कमलापते गुरुपुरालय पालय मां गतात्. श्री गुरुवायूरप्पा.
परब्रह्मणे नमः.
राजेश्वरी,
सार्धानुबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालधेशाभरिभ्यां निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनरुरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावद्भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानां कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि.
ஒரே ஒரு செவன்த் இதுல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லைன் லாஸ்ட் வேர்ட் வட்டோர் கிரம்னு இருக்கு என்னோட அந்த பிரபத்தியில. கிரமா கிரிமா?
Girim, mountain.
Okay, thank you.
So next week we won't have the class. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay. Sorry, I wanted to share something. So the story you said that Govardhana mountain Krishna lives for 7 days, right? So there is a story. I don't know how authentic or true it is. So Yashoda Mata, what she does every day, she gives Krishna 8 different varieties of food every day. So since Krishna lifted Govardhana mountain for 7 days, so when Krishna comes home, she makes 56 varieties because he misses 7 days of food. So 7 times 8, 56. So that's why the Chappan Bhog is made. So I'm thinking this is true, but I'm not 100% sure.
I've also heard it. But again, like I said, this in Bhagavatam, it says Krishna did not eat anything for those 7 days when he was in there. I think you are saying after he came back, he made,
After he comes back home, then Yashoda Mata makes
that's what I was. So that's when Puri also they make Puri Jagannath temple, they make the Chappan Bhog, right? I think I mean a couple of those stories floating around as whether it happened before or after, but it doesn't matter. It's like either way, it's like 56 items for the 7 days, maybe, right? Unique items. So I was going to just say, so next week no class, of course, because we have the Narayaneeyam Parayanam next week. So we had a different Parayanam yesterday, so I haven't focused on the Narayaneeyam one yet. I'm going to go and look at the sheet today, Just, and I think there are some more Dashakams left. I'll put a message in that community group, right? So definitely looking forward to seeing all of you there next week. So, and Priya, you wanted to say something?
Sunday one அது Sunday தானே
For the
Sunday
food. Father,
Sorry, Priya, break kar dunga voice.
we can register, we can make arrangements for the food. That's what I just wanted to remind Ellari.
Yeah. And the sheet la vandu at least put the RSVP count properly. I'll send a message reminder to everybody today. How many are coming to chant, and then how many are there going to be for lunch, so that we have to arrange for the lunch. And then the other thing I have to reconcile is if you have signed up for sponsorship, but if you haven't yet paid for the amount, I think we have to make sure that is getting done ahead of time, so there's no confusion last minute. Anyway, now Inniki, I'll put a message in the group once I go check through the sheets. Okay. But look forward to seeing all of you next
தானே
week.
ராஜேஷ் ஜி இது
Next Sunday.
okay
Next Sunday, yeah, 17th.
Rajesh, one question. So I did not sign so far. So my cousins used to come, but they are not coming now. So can I sign it right now for them?
Yeah. You just go update the sheet, right? That online sheet. If you want, I can represent the sheet. Just go sign up in the sheet, for chapter, RSVP, count, sponsorship, everything. You can put it in the sheet.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry for the
Okay.
laugh.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Raj.